And we're back. No, I'm going to lie. We're not between two Yetis.
We're not? Ooh, still cold.
And we're back between two coolers at the Palm Beach Boat Show 2019.
Welcome.
Thank you. And I've invaded Stefano Di Vivo.
Perfect. You're nearly Italian.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Welcome
My name's
to
Lee. Thank you. Now, I have to apologise first because to our loyal audience, we're not actually sitting on Yetis today. We're sitting on the arch rival.
Will they forgive you?
It's always best to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission.
Oh, that's for sure. You're going to always
that's
get
what we're doing.
forgiveness, or nearly always. Definitely never permission.
So we're on the Ferretti stand, which is the most beautiful stand at every boat show.
Thank you.
I mean, there's no question about it. It's
Thank you.
always so well presented, and the boats, we'll get there in a second. So what do you do?
I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of Ferretti Group, so I take care of strategy, sales.
So you're in charge of the
after-sales.
money?
Yeah, most of it. I have to ask permission to the CFO, and I never do, so I ask for forgiveness.
So you're Italian, actually. So you
Yes.
go by COO, CEO, CFO.
We go by yes. We have the same thing. We use international names also because we are a multinational company. We have operations from Hong Kong all the way to America.
Because
So,
in England, in Europe, you'd be called the managing director.
sort of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Right.
so for us Europeans, you're the guy making it all work.
Let's say I have a boss on top, but
Yeah.
the rest I have to take care of.
Yeah, you do. You get your hands.
Dirty. I have to run around. I'm the one you call when the boat is not working to shout.
Right. So you get shouted at.
Yeah, and someone else gets the check.
Right. So how do you get this job?
I'm actually a naval architect and ocean engineer by training. I studied
He is
in
an
UCL in
Right.
London.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I caught straight away that you're English. So
Right.
forget my Italian-based accent with a mixture of many other accents. Traveling around, I pick them up like no tomorrow. So
At UCL.
yes.
That's in just south of the river, isn't it?
No, it's just north of the river. It's Bloomsbury. It's next Wood Street, Tottenham Court Road.
Yeah.
You know where they used to sell really fake. They had a group of people coming in, and they had 3 or 4 con men inside saying, "Yeah, I'll buy it. It's a great chance to buy it." And then you had a lot of Greeks and Italians getting conned and buying some bricks in boxes and walking away. You don't remember that?
I don't
That's
remember that.
90s.
Maybe that's
That's
before
the
my
90s.
time. Yeah.
Now it's all posh, and you get nice stores and so on. But at the time, it used to be even a little bit dodgy.
Bit dodgy. Well, that whole side of London's really taking a new type of development, and it's
Yeah.
getting very expensive.
Absolutely.
Very.
It's
very
already very expensive. I don't know how much money you make. I cannot afford it.
It's got more expensive.
Yes.
So you trained as a naval architect.
And ocean engineer. This is what took me 4 years to learn. Naval architect and ocean engineer. And then they gave me my degree. Otherwise, there's no other reason why they gave me a degree.
Good Lord. So you can build a boat.
Yes. Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically. Have you ever actually
But
practically done it?
Yes, I started off in the technical department of Ferretti Group, and then I got sent to Riva's technical department. And from there, I moved on to project management and after sales. So let's say I've practiced hands-on how to design and build a boat. And then my commercial side came out, and I went into sales and finally made a living.
But that's quite interesting then. So you've got a commercial head on you, but you're able to understand what a stringer is and how a bow thruster works and all those nonsense.
Absolutely. And
Nonsense, those bits.
Yeah, it's nonsense. In the end, in theory, it should all work anyway. Now, yes, and this actually drives crazy a lot of the technical guys and the production guys.
Because you can call them out.
Yes, because they
Right.
cannot just go, oh, it takes 3 weeks because it takes 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, so let's sit down a second. So
work out engineering
it's gonna
hours.
take 2 days to do this. So this has been the reason why I studied a technical degree.
Yeah.
Because I love boating. I've been boating since I was a kid. I've been a sailing instructor since I was 13.
Really?
Yes.
What, on the little laser type?
Well, actually on bigger boats. I've always done bigger boats rather than smaller boats. So I started in Glenann's Irish Sailing School. So the Glenann from France opened up in Ireland.
Right.
And I started going to Ireland when I was a kid. And one day we said, you cannot come here anymore to be a student because we have nothing to teach you. Do you want to teach? I was like, I'm 13, are you sure? And
13?
we're like, yes. It was good fun. I started with kids, and then I was teaching 70-year-olds when I was 16. But it was really interesting. And
So where in Italy are you from then?
I'm from Milan, which is about
Milano.
200 k's from the sea. But
Yeah.
no, my family is from Rome and Naples, and the sea has always been part of our life.
It's amazing the Italians have that affinity with the sea.
Yes. But we have all of
You're all round, yeah.
We have
actually.
coastline that is, I think, over 3,000 kilometers long.
And you're
So
pretty
that's
much an
why-
island without being an island, aren't you?
Yes, we're a peninsula.
You're a
I've been
peninsula,
told.
yeah. Are we going to get rained on?
Yes, welcome to
All right.
Florida.
Well, we've got to look after our hair.
Yeah,
'Cause,
you're a little bit Italian for that, right?
Well,
Nice hair.
I never had long hair, and
Yeah.
then I haven't got a job at the moment, so I was just like, hey, you know what?
Lucky you. Yeah,
Just grow it out.
Why does it happen that when you don't have a job, you get long hair? I did the same when I resigned in my last job. You got nice hair long up to here.
Really?
And when you find a job, you need to cut it. Actually, I cut it before finding a job, because no one would give me a job.
Okay, hold on. We have to pause. Have we got umbrellas?
Yes, we do.
Can we get some
ask
umbrellas?
some umbrellas from the entrance? It's
And then we
actually
can
gonna be
continue under umbrella, and that
Yeah.
adds a new flavour to it.
fun. And we're branded, so it's good for us. Doing some advertising here.
So, all right, we'll carry on whilst they're providing our cover.
Yeah.
So, how did you get to Ireland then for the sailing?
Because there was this sailing school, Glen Anne's is a very famous school that opened in France in 1946, and it's renowned as the best sailing school in the world. Very rugged, nothing. It was
Nothing
opened for
fancy.
kids after the Second World War to try give them knowledge and a passion and a reason to live after all of the tremendous stuff that went on. And they opened up also in Ireland. And in Ireland, it was posh because we had hot water. In France, they don't even have hot water, right? So
They're coming.
we're coming. Can we get two? I think it's going to be better.
You're going to need one for the camera as well, Amber.
Yeah. So basically, they opened up in Ireland, and every summer I was trying to go to England. I was going to an English school in Italy, but to practice English and get the
So
fluency
English is
going.
almost your first language.
It is. Also, if I have this thick Italian accent, it's actually my first language. When I was 10, I tell my friends, my brother, that didn't go to an English school, he went to an Italian school, would complain. He's 5 years older, and he's professor at university in England. He's the guy with the brains, right? And he was always complaining, saying, how's it possible? I'm Italian, and I have a brother that doesn't even speak my own language. Because I was speaking half English, half Italian in every sentence.
Dear Lord. So after doing that, you went to UCL,
Yeah,
learned how to build a boat.
yes.
Well, it wasn't a boat building course, it was naval architecture.
It was naval architecture, so we were doing ships. So
Okay.
I know how to build a semi-submersible platform for oil drilling, if you want. I actually spent 6 weeks on one of them. And there I understood I definitely wasn't going into oil exploitation because, trust me, 6 weeks on one of those things, you want to run away very quickly. Especially when you're
imagine.
in the North Sea. Very cold, very nasty weather.
Yeah.
Very scary.
No beaches.
No beaches for
sailing.
sure. No sailing, no way to get off it.
Blimey. So then, all right. So then, you went from you finished your degree,
Yeah.
and then you got the job on the shop floor at Ferretti.
Well, first I took off for 3 or 4 months, went backpacking 2 months in
Thailand?
India.
Oh, India. Okay.
In India, so running around India. And then I sort of found out that my funds had been cut from the family, and they said you need to start working. So I went off and started selling mobile phones for Vodafone in department stores in Italy. And then someone told me, mate, why don't you just go do what you're good
Do
at?
something. Yeah.
And so I went into Ferretti Group and started there, and went on for 5 years in Riva, which was like a dream. It's like telling someone, would you like to play football and you can go play for Real Madrid or Manchester United or whatever, you know?
So Rivas. Why are they so magical?
There's 3 or 4 aspects to it. The first one is the myth they bring along. Riva was the first one that brought luxury sailing and luxury yachts to the world. So in the 50s, after...
Really?
Yeah, basically Riva and Ferrari are very similar from that point of view. Enzo Ferrari and Mr. Carlo Riva straight after the Second World War, you have to imagine Italy was destroyed, completely bombed the hell out of it, first by the Americans and the English, then by the Germans, and everybody taking out on us, I think, because we're an easy target. We're so bad when we go at war that it's easy to take it out on us, okay? So,
Your first targets.
yeah. So it's easy, you want to look good with your general, just bomb Italy, But apart from kidding, the country was on its knees, right? And two men had an enlightening vision, which was let's produce the most expensive cars on the planet with 12-cylinder engines inside. And the other guy said, oh, I'll produce wooden, beautiful boats that are like violins that cost money that no one can afford in Italy, and let's sell them to the world. They are basically the ones that propelled and fueled the Dolce Vita years of the 50s and 60s in the world. And so people like Brigitte Bardot, princes and business tycoons, Onassis, started buying these boats all around the world and created basically a myth. And the fact that they had made a beautiful boat just proved them right, proved Mr. Carlo Riva right. And the proof is that in cars you get classic cars, and many different brands have different prices and very high prices and so on. In boats, the only boats that have a classic boat that has a value is a Riva. All the others are worth nothing if they're more than 30 years old. A Riva is now starting to become more expensive than it was when you first bought it 30 years ago.
We have a lot to thank the Italians for then. Because
yeah, I mean, we're very, we do things our own way, but come on, we did bring quite a few good things.
You really have, yeah. I've spoken to a lot of Italians, and I was like, why is everything Italian so beautiful? Why is it so Italian? And the answer is because, well, one of the answers was because you're surrounded by beautiful things. Your art, the country, the sea, everything about Italy is just beautiful.
I think you're very right. I think it's our culture. It comes from, I think, 2,500 years of richness. Let's not forget that the Romans dominated the world.
And they were Italian, weren't they?
And they were Italian. And then after that, also if we went down, we didn't have any more of the Roman Empire. In the Middle Ages and then in the Renaissance, we still had some very powerful and rich entities in the country, and so they were always investing in art, because art is where you develop your richness and you show off your richness, right? So I think this was inbred in us, and I think what you say is very right. When I take my American friends around Rome or Milan or Naples and so Florence, Siena, or even a little small town, yeah, sometimes I'm walking along and I'm talking. As you can see, I talk a lot as an Italian, also with my hands. Also, if you've crippled me with this,
down.
But you're walking around and all of a sudden you turn around and you're talking to yourself, because the guy has stopped like 50 meters before, and you're like, what's going on? And you see him staring up, and your first thought is, it's a church. Come on, let's go. And they're like, yeah, but this thing is like 800 years old. Look at it. And that's where you realize that we're very lucky. We're born with that, and we have it all around us, and we nearly don't realize how lucky we are.
How lucky you are.
I think this is then reflected in how people design, think, and do things.
So, I mean, bringing this back to boats, I mean, Pershing it's not quite as beautiful as a Riva, but it's a different beast. But it's amazing, all these, the American manufacturers and this French and the English. It's got that Italian design to it.
Oh yeah, one of our competitors started using
that phrase.
Big Pininfarina, big Italian design office.
Yeah.
I think especially in boats, it's because we were where it all started, and I think we've been going on and never let it go. And don't forget, 50% of luxury yachts are built in Italy in the world.
Which is, I heard that statistic, 49%
yeah.
of the world's super yachts right now are being built in Italy.
Absolutely.
How? How have you taken that?
We started 50 years ago, and I think if you want to build a beautiful thing, it's nicer to go see it on the Italian coastline rather than in somewhere in Northern Europe where it's raining and so on. Plus, we have this thing about food and wine. Also, for French say they have better wine. Doesn't matter. We won't get into that, but. So it's all part of the experience.
Holy
Because
hell,
when you're
yeah, it is.
when you're building something like this, it's also part of the experience. You know, you want to go and live a nice life, live nice things, nice experiences.
If you're building a boat,
yeah,
do you want to go to Alblasserdam for 2 years or a year, or do you want to go to the Amalfi Coast?
he
or
said
do you
it.
want-
It wasn't me. Okay.
But
He
that's
said-
exactly one of your biggest selling features.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. It is. You know, when sometimes on some products we are not number one, and other countries are better than us. But in the end, you have the argument that you know what, really, you want to spend 2 years going in a very rainy, cold place where you're eating something that looks like a sausage, or you want to come and we have pizza,
And cheese.
pasta, cheese, whatever. You know, so. I think that's a very big selling point. And,
Cool. So your job here now then is what? How long have you been doing this new role?
For the last 4.5 years.
Oh
nearly
Christ,
5
this
years
isn't
I've
new.
been back.
Why did somebody say this is you're new to this role?
I don't know.
All right, so
But I guess a lot of people look at me and think I'm very young, but I have turned 40 now, and
oh, have you?
yeah, I even got married, which makes me feel like I've started finally to mature.
Yeah, I'm
But the fact
almost.
I don't have white hair, people always think that oh, you're a young guy, you just got it right?
I'm almost there with you. I'm like a
Yeah.
year or two behind. So
No, you're a lot younger, right?
No.
You don't get it from people saying, oh, you're a kid, right? You just started doing it, right?
Yeah, well, that's
you
what I
must
hope.
be out of university.
yeah, I'm like 21.
Yeah, and it's
Again.
gonna pay off in a couple of years' time, I'm sure. Like when everybody else looks.
Trust me,
old,
when I shave the beard and cut the hair, you'd be like, oh my
Why
god.
do you think I have this? I look like a kid that has grown way too much, you know. So
Blimey. Well, I'm always very excited to see the Ferretti stands.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, the boats are the boats, but the stand and the design and the feel and you bring Italy to the shows.
bravo.
Which-
Yesterday I was doing an interview and it came out natural. I don't prepare these things, and I think what I said was, you know what, the shows, the way we do it, our concept, I think it is bring people to Italy without having them to get on a flight.
Yeah.
It's, as you said, we have some very special things in our country, and if we don't manage, or if we don't bring them to the clients that are 6,000 miles away, then we are missing out on the point. So I'm glad you said that it feels like coming to Italy when you're coming to a show, because that's exactly what we have to do. This
Yeah.
is where you start the journey with us.
Now, I know-
Whether or not you're going to buy it in Italy or you're buying it because it's lying here.
So I know you're not allowed to say this, but which one's your favourite?
Listen, I'll tell you one last story, okay?
Okay.
I have an older brother, as I said, and my older brother is the genius of the family. He's got a PhD and he's graduated in Cambridge University. He's got a.
You guys are real high achievers then.
No. He's the big brains. I did engineering because he said someone will have to maintain me because I'll be an academic, right? So this is how I ended up in this. But so I've always used to say to my parents, "You love my brother better," and he said the same to them. And they were always turning around and saying, "No, we love you both the same." Now I know they were lying to us. I have 8 kids, 8 brands, and I have to love them just all the same. So I can't tell you which one I prefer. But my favorite is the Aquariva 33. It's timeless. So, but I never said.
But you
Don't
didn't
tell
say
the
that.
Persian
We'll
guys.
bleep that bit. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I love your cooler idea.
Well, just as a disclaimer, this is the juxtaposition now. We are sitting on the bleep coolers that we could possibly find on the most beautiful stands at the show,
I love the
and
concept.
that's a good.
This could be an Italian idea. It was a
It
pleasure.
just shows you how good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stop ringing.
Didn't even get too wet.